Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to day three of Odisha Design Week. I'm Suresh Venkat. I'll be your host for the day. Let me start with a quick introduction. The Odisha Design Council is a social, not for profit organization with a mission to empower local artisans, corporates, and policymakers by spreading awareness, education, and extensive research and skill training in the area of design. The theme for this edition of the Odisha Design Week is culturally connected. For those of you joining only today, let me start with a few house rules. First rule is be on time. If you're a speaker, try and finish in your allotted time. If you're a delegate, you know how to use AMeet, get familiar with the controls. It's a fairly simple platform to navigate. You can ask your questions on the Q&A tab and post comments on the comments tab. Remember, whenever we have a break, the tea break especially, there's a speed networking session. If you'd like to network with other delegates and speakers, that's the time you have to do it. Try and not leave in the middle of a session. It's rude to the speaker. If you're a design professional or a design teacher, you've been allocated a portfolio review booth to visit, then please to visit that booth and encourage and empower students at the ODW. As always, we welcome your questions and your comments right through the day's show. Use the appropriate tabs and comments. If you're posting on social media, however, use the hashtags ODW2021 or the full form, which is Odisha Design Week. Our first speaker, we're glad to welcome Professor Pradyumna Vyas back to the stage. Pradyumna is the former executive director of NID Ahmedabad, India's premier design institute. He's currently a senior advisor of design promotion and innovation at the Confederation of Indian Industry, or CII, and a member of the board of directors of the World Design Organization, and also a mentor to the Odisha Design Council. Pradyumna, you have 45 minutes to talk about design for sustainable development, and that will be followed by Q&A. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Suresh, for the introduction. Today the session is for education, and I thought that maybe I will try and connect that design for sustainable development with education. I spent almost 30 years at NID, and NID has worked extensively and is working extensively in the area of sustainable development. And most of the work which I will be sharing is basically that what has happened in NID, what is happening, and that certainly will give clues to educational institutes and students that how design education can be integrated with sustainable thinkings from culture, how we can learn from culture, how we can learn from tradition, and which are going on for hundreds of years, thousands of years, how we can derive knowledge and try and create new knowledge. So the slide which you see is the woman from MP and Gujarat border tribal. They call Bhil, actually, Bhil and Bilala. And why I have put this slide is that there is no jewelry designer of this jewelry which they are wearing. There is no fashion designer or the textile designer for the printmaking and other things which you see which they are wearing. But the whole combination, color combination, and all is so graceful, and which is really gelling with their even their gestures. So what is that the aesthetic element which we are talking about, which is not coming through the professional education and which is there in their systems of this tribal woman? There must be something very deep rooted knowledge there, and I think that is what we need to recognize, that there is a knowledge which is much deeper, which is sustainable, which has a better understanding, sorry, which has a better understanding, and how we can bring it to the classroom and take it forward. So let us look into the cultural backdrop of this country. It is lucky to be born in India, and it's a right time which is going on, and especially for the design students, design faculty. There is so much to learn from our cultural backdrop. I would not say this because you see that all of you know that our civilization is very old. I have put 5,000, it could be 7,000, 1.3 billion people. But probably the best part, which is that probably it is the only country in the world where the Stone Age and Space Age coexist even today, which I mentioned in my opening remark earlier on. And that diversity is really amazing. Now, the country again, you see, it is not like United States. The states are cut either through linguistic way or because of the rivers. So that's the way the whole country is being arranged, and that is the diversity which you see in different states actually. But the cultural milieu of India is happiness. There is so much of coexistence. There is always celebration. I think every day there is some kind of celebration which is happening, and you see that how we are making, and this is what I really like, that the part of our celebration where we also involving the animal which are connected with us, whether it is a camel or whether it is in Mysore, the elephants and all, how the jewelries have been designed for them, how they are decorating this. And this is really incredible thing to learn from, that traditionally or culturally we have this coexistence thinking within us. So India is it has gone through a various levels of invasions from the past, and you see that earlier as the traditional India, then it has come to Mughal India, then there is a British India, and now modern India. So this is the way it goes through. That 1,000 years ago, if you talk about the traditional India, then Mughals rule, and each one has brought some kind of knowledge base in our culture. Mughal India, then British Raj, colonial India. We know we speak English. We the formal education systems. The industrial revolution happened during the colonial era. Then post-independent Nehruvian socialistic model. At that time, the NID was set up 1961. It was a controlled economy, but yes, crafts and the public sectors and other things were happening. And now we are in the globalization where the business boundaries are merging. So let us look into traditional India, togetherness, art, culture, and tradition. If you go to South India, if you go to Sachi, marvelous work in architecture, which is there. Even astrology is Jaipur Jantar Mantar or Delhi Jantar Mantar, which you see. There is so much of knowledge which you can see, which was there. And I don't have to talk much about that influence of the Mughal India on the textiles and the Persian carpets and architecture, Taj Mahal and other things which have been made. Very intricacy in the craft, precision in the craft, and a lot of such precision, very fine work has developed during this time, and patronizing of handicraft has taken place. Then colonial India, British Raj, 17th to 19th century. Here the mechanization started happening, systems started coming in places, and mostly the what you call the power, electric power and the steam power was used in mass manufacturing, and also the formal education started coming in. And then the post-independent 1947 onwards, you'll find that there was a license Raj limited. The choices were available in the market, but major PSUs like BHEL, HAL, even the Bhakra Nangal Dam, big schemes were worked out for the nation development. And then we get into the global India. You see the Titan and Mahindras and Hondas and all have become a global player now. And actually, because that time the market economy opened up, and design here started taking front seat. If I tell you that the Titan was a company who hired the designers from NID in, I would say, early 90s, now they have a global level of design office, and same thing with Mahindra and same thing with Hero and VIP and other companies. That before that, design was not integrated so much in the consumer durable, transportation, and medical equipment appliances. They're mostly coming from outside, or some kind of what you call imitation was happening. But I think here the design started coming in. But again, if we look into India, there are agrarian ethos and the industrial ethos. Industry is focused on mass productions, while the 70% population or even more is their livelihood is depending on agrarian thing. But this focusing on mass production started minimizing the importance of cottage industry, And what was decentralized, what Gandhiji was talking about, started getting into concentration in cities, and more migration started happening from villages to city because job opportunities started happening. And here we started losing out a lot of handicrafts and other things because they were not making so much of sense what the mass produced products were making. And though there were a great deal of beauty in this agrarian ethos, the product which were developed, artisans, the craftsmen, creator of the product, utilitarian decoration, and here the sustainability aspect comes in. The textile piece which you are making is lifeless. You are not going to throw away. You are the daughter will wear and granddaughter will take it, and it will go from generation to generation. Same way, this beautifully crafted handmade product will go generation after generation. And when I was talking about on the first day that this consumer centric economy, when it came, use and throw, and plastic had supported such kind of product which were life, meaning that lifeless, they are just there centuries after, they started not making so much of economic sense. And that's why people started shifting on the materials. So, industrial ethos, again, the post industrial era was based on technology and ushered the new culture. And you will find that when the product started coming in, very good looking, very good performing very well, but they are faceless. We don't know where they are coming from, whether they are made in, or the parts components are made different places. And it is multiplicity, replaceability, replicability, disposability started becoming order of the day. Mass production, replace, substitute, better, cheap, dispose, throw away, dispense, and no use. And this again, I have spoken that there is a psychological obsolescence which you are putting into the product, so you have to buy another one. Not that it's a pride of possession, which I had shown you this particular product where generation after generation it will not lose its charm, but here it will go away in 2 years and you will have to change it. And the thing which is there, which is very much related with the place, location, geographical indication, here the heterogeneity started getting into complete homogeneity of the identity or culture or whatever you talk. Even if you go to traditional religious places, the Pepsi, Coke, Levi's, McDonald's, Singapore, Calcutta, Chennai, Ahmedabad, all streets starts looking the same. Otherwise, there was a time when you will say, okay, go to Chinese Chowk and you will have another flavor of it. If you go to Bangalore and go to some traditional street, there is another one, same way in Calcutta. But now all started looking the same way. And here somewhere, I think the control alter delete culture started coming in. Psychological obsolescence deliberately built into the product, feeling of inadequacy, and product life cycle shortened. And this is what uniformly happening world over actually. So, advent of the design education in India, which was founded in NID in 1961, these are the two, the wisdom tree which you see if you happen to go to NID campus. This is a 2014 photograph, but now it is really covering the entire NID, and that is the wisdom which this institute has got. But the people behind setting up this institute and bringing the vision is the Charles and Ray Eames. And I again spoke about this India report, which was written in 1958. It really talks about learning from the field and learning by doing. And I think that is the important message which has gone into. And I would also like all of you to just Google the Eames this Lota film, which was made, I think, in 70s by Akhil Saxena. It describes the design very well. And NID is keeping it to small scale cottage industries that would lead to socio-economic development. And ID education always remained touched with it was grounded with the society and always looking into the social development and not just fulfilling the luxury or the style, but see that how you can create social impact with the design. And I think it was really far-fetched, means like much ahead of the time thinking, which people are talking now about sustainable development goals. This was there in 1961. What is the beauty of this education program? And I would say that Orissa, which I mentioned, could be the great lab for that. That one side in the classroom situation, the knowledge is coming from the crafts and culture, which is coming to the structured, the institute like NID. Another side, the curriculum, which has been developed by faculty members with the global perspective also coming in. So there is the amalgamation of the knowledge which is coming from the craftspeople, the traditional knowledge, and the what you call explicit knowledge, the tacit and explicit knowledge, which is coming together, which is really having a catalyst of change, improving the quality of life, enhancing the design understanding, innovative solutions, and it is connected with your traditions and culture, which makes it much sustainable actually. So, thrust of design education at an ID is understanding of local needs, solutions, materials. It's very important for in education, whether you are talking about not only design education but other education programs. Identify users' characteristics, emphasis of culture in design, and use of contemporary knowledge and technology, sustaining tradition and modernity. I would like to show some of the classroom projects and the faculty projects which are certainly, I think, most important today to understand. And Gandhi and Mandela, who symbolize the social empowerment, and they talked about that there is enough for the need, but not for the greed. And I think somewhere, I think we need to really look into, if we have to sustain sustainability, the focus should be on need and not on the greed. And somewhere we need to create a balancing. So, social development project. This was earlier days of NID, where this experiment of Javaja experiment had happened. There's a village called Javaja in Rajasthan, and which was adopted by, I would say adopted, or it was made a rural university basically by IIM Ahmedabad and NID. And Mr. Ravi Mathai was the director of IIM Ahmedabad, and Mr. Ashok Chatterjee was the director of NID. And they say that we will work towards the weavers and the leather communities and see that how design and management can have social impact. And this experiment is going on, still it is going on. There are inputs from the student of NID and IIM are still giving it. And I would like to really like to remember and offer my great respect to the faculty, Ms. Neil Mayer, who put lot of effort in developing the leather product. Working, her photograph is there. She unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, but she understood it very well. And then with the local, everything is local. Nothing has come from outside. Even the hinges and other things also came. They improvised the tanning process. They looked into a different kind of weaving and stitching methods. They created the design in such a way that even after 50 years, these designs are popular. You go to Fab India and you will still find these designs. It's a timeless design, I would say, which is not consuming any kind of hazardous chemicals for tanning or so, and which are very ugly looking product, which you immediately connect with yourself. And this is one of the very, very successful project, which is not only empowered economically but socially also empowered the people. This is another project continuously going on for making rugs, improvise the complete looms to the material to prints and other things. Again, Miss Helena, who was at that time faculty at NID, worked with the weavers. She's also passed away, and they really put lot of time and energy to work with them. And this is what the difference design has created. In 1976, the lady would be, look at her body language. She's just doing the work because वो कहते हैं ना सहमा सा, and because of the whatever you call hierarchy in the society or so. And look at in 2008 when team had gone to just see that what is the impact design has done. and there is so much of happiness and confidence and empowerment which you see. And I think that is the success of the project which can be looked into. The wells earlier, that water well, people were not allowed to fetch water because of the caste systems and all. And then to see that how the whole change scenario which has happened, because there was more awareness about things, they started making more money. And this was total management strategy and design strategy getting into it, which had empowered this thing. And it's an excellent Javaja experiment which is being taught world over now, talked about it, that how design can really improve the quality of life and give social empowerment. Woman empowerment. During my time, also, we worked in Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, and Ghana, and we involved our students. And this is what again NID is. That NID is not only just faculty is taking; students are always involved in any research project or any consultancy projects. And then they got chance to go to even Zimbabwe, and the crafts people came to India, NID, and then you see that first our team assess that what kind of capabilities they have, meaning it's not just we are going and telling them do this and do this and do that. Understand their ecosystem, understand what materials are available. And that is what learning we had from Javaja, that try and understand ecosystem, don't try and push your thing and co-create. This is the co-creation, as otherwise it is not going to be sustainable. And when they came to NID, you see that our faculty and students started working with them and created wonderful products which were, in fact, BBC has covered this study after 3 years, that how social impact has been made in Zimbabwe with this particular project. And these are the new, their skills were tremendous, but I think the design has just worked towards making some local jigs and fixtures where, and also dyeing processes, standardizing the processes by which the productivity had gone up multifold. And you can see this is Ghana. I had been there. It's such a wonderful work which they are doing. And this is just then there's the first lady, the time when we inaugurated, and this was the exhibition which was put up in the Ghana. And look again that the degree project where the student is working with them. So this is the integration of design education with the not only in India but outside of the country also, sharing their knowledge. These are the bags. This is Ethiopia. Again, you can see that how the whole co-creation has happened, and very successfully this project was conducted. You can see all the participants in Ghana, and you can see me also there. It's in Ghana only. And then we have the similar thing is at NID also. I will just go little fast to see that what kind of things, which this is the natural fiber and uh, clay, where the crafts people are coming in NID, working with the students, and also creating the new product, because the skills are already there. You have to just diversify the design and see what new products which you can, so that the marketability becomes better, utilitarian value gets better, and they make better money for their livelihood. And they don't have to really stop their activities and come to city and become the rickshaw driver or work in some hotel or something. Means you're like, you can help them remain and have livelihood in their own areas actually. So this is the pottery terracotta workshop which was happening. And water hassan jalkumbi, it must be there in Orissa also. It's a weed which is spoiling the water body everywhere in entire country. You will find that this weed which is called jalkumbi or water hassan, this is a menace. And then we started working in this area, and we realized that this is a good material if you process it properly. And we made lots of product for means dustbins and lamps and other things. And you see that in northeast when we were working, the thing weed which was taking lot of money of government to take it out from the water body and throw it, in fact, the value which was added through design by creating product out of this weed, the price of the raw material became 60 rupees a kilo, meaning the thing which was consuming money started now producing money, because the value addition has happened to design, and you're not just throwing it or burning it, but you're creating products. So again, employment is coming in and getting this. So collaboration, this was earlier where the African, Indian and students work together, and this experiment was also very good, where the student tried to really see that how the traditionally jewelry were making and how we can make the modern jewelry. So this is one part. Now coming to Orissa, I would strongly suggest the follow what NID has been doing in 60 years is documenting the craft. I think this is just disappearing, and I would say that in Orissa, if we will not really document this for the future researchers, it will be a big loss of knowledge, because these are just disappearing. Northeast living tradition and culture, which it was 6 7 years project during my time, and all the 8 states complete linguistic textiles were documented, living culture was documented, the jewelries were documented, and this material now we know that it is with IGNCA who had sponsored this project. If any researcher go even after 10 years, and if these things are not practiced, at least things are there in the archival, that how these practices were there. So documenting the crafts which may not be relevant today, but what will happen after 20 years we don't know. We have to, and your Orissa Design Council has to work towards documenting these crafts and convincing government and institutions and students, because students should get involved in documentation of the crafts and the living tradition. I think more important is documenting the living traditions, which has a lot of what you call narratives, which have deep rooted knowledge into that. So look at the simplicity in Northeast, the loom on the top left picture which you see, she is creating a tension just by her back. If you see, the belt is there in her back, which is serving almost like the back support, and same time, when 95% houses have looms and they are so simple and they make their own garments. And what simplicity you are really talking? There is nothing more simple than this. What they are using here, and each house is creating such kind of textiles for their own consumptions, and also they are selling outside as well. So the indigenous craft practices which are going away, where people are not able to make money. So a lot of projects, supported projects, which Uttarakhand and other places which were taken up, students again got involved, created new products, trying to find out the meaning in new products in the living room and the hotels, restaurants, and other places, in houses, and that is the way they are just trying to work it out. Product diversification, and here you'll find that bamboo started getting into chandeliers and hangers, and these are again students' project, and amazing work has been carried out, and this our graduate who is now exporting to China, which and other countries which are experts in bamboo, but he's taking it to those countries. So that kind of expertise actually we have evolved, and is a successful entrepreneur in Bangalore. So same way, I think corporate social responsibility in Bidri work, how we can diversify products, and you can see some of these products which are very contemporary. This is dealing with healthcare. That Fulbright scholar who was there at NID working with the students and looking into that awareness about the importance of the toilet. And mind you, this project was taken before this whole the toilet awareness has happened in India. Before that, this project had started and concluded, and complete ergonomic studies, old people, young people, disabled. Entire thing was done for the public toilets and all. and which were and the document was created in as part of Fulbright scholarship. This is a again students are encouraged into looking into the social problems, addressing the taboo subjects like the periods, and it's quite old project actually, where the students have made animation film, where how you will make aware about the children of adolescent age when the periods are coming, and how you will really openly talk about it. And it may be, I would say, um, a 10 years old project which was carried out. So such kind of taboo subjects bringing in the classroom are very, very important. And also trying to create sanitary pads that time coming out from the west, from the tailor's shop, clothes which are reusable, again sustainability aspect which is coming up. And making, and you see, when the students take up such kind of project, there is a great deal of empathy, because they go into the field, try and understand what are the issues related with this health and hygiene aspect. And when you go into depth in this empathy, what you call user strip, or try and understand what are the users issues are, sometimes you feel that, it's very, very important area where our education systems and education should work. Otherwise, there is a when we talk about developmental activities, and when you see that that only 13 or 14% people are using the disposable napkin, and rest of them have a tremendous health hazard, and lots of girls are not going to school during that time because there are no toilets in the school or something like that, and you feel, oh my god, that they want to study but they are not able to study because of these kind of reasons. And I think designers need to look into those finer aspect and go forward. Maternity health care, this is a systems thinking where students are looking into the complete maternity health systems and coming out and suggestions, and we always share this to the health department that how we should take it forward. Also, meaning everything we cannot expect that the hospital and other people will see, that how rural healthcare and digital India, when we are putting it up, the data which you are collecting about maternal health or children's health and all, how will you develop the user interface so simple, where the local people can collect data, and with internet they can transfer it to the district healthcare, and they would know what exactly is happening. So again, working with the people to see that they can use the tablet and then transfer the data, those kind of, this is a student project which is coming to it. Public services, this is in fact, this, when I was a faculty, that time I was not even director, and this is one very interesting project which we did, where I don't think any consultant from anywhere can really help in the crowd which Bombay local is dealing, and everybody say rough and tough type of thing. But we made it very sophisticated, and we could manage the behavior pattern of the people with the design, which you purple color you see. It's quite popular actually. And then afterwards, monorail interior were also done. But in Bombay local train, you can see that when the three times more crowd is there, how the rails and grab rails and other things were designed so that any where you are standing, the grab rail should be in your reach to catch it. And then information cards, identity card, the fisherman's identity card, again it's information design which was carried out. And this is not NID work, but this is somewhere we also encourage students to really look into. But this MIT had developed this knee joint less than $10, and it was one of the top 50 best inventions of the year that Time magazine has covered. And such a simple joint which which is lightweight, and which really makes you climb the tree, walk, even ride the motorcycles, and all, so much of empowerment. And sometimes we say that the Jaipur foot, which is working on, and this is also being made at the Jaipur foot, there is so much of understanding, we develop understanding by the frugal innovation. In 2 days time anybody can go there and get the artificial limb prosthetics, get fitted to their size, and they can go away. People from all these war torn countries where the mines have taken out their legs, they just go there, get it fixed, and it is almost like free of cost they are doing it. And such kind of initiatives where I feel that the designers need to come in and work, and students should work in that area. So we at NID always encourage the students to look into what are the issues related with old age, what are the issues related with visually impaired, and can they really come out with something, wheelchair or the mobile phone for the braille, which has got some international award earlier, and working environment. Now, you see, we may not think about that this is also a scope of designers to look into, but if you go in the coal mine and you see that what kind of work environment is there, again you feel, oh my god, how difficult situation they are working, their life is continuously under threat. What will happen into the mine, and can with our design understanding do something better for their work environment? And then these things were developed earlier, the grabbing, the weight, and look at the condition previous, before and after, and how it has been really improvised. Now these are some of the hand tools for coal miners, ergonomically designed. And this salt pan, my god, this is another area where it is working environment is so difficult. In fact, if you go there in salt pan, you know that if they are not wearing the shoes, their feet which are underwater continuously, meaning the saddest part is that they say that they become like a stone, it's like the skin and all become so much, and said that it is really tragic that how it affects on your body. And how can you really help them making a proper shoes, which the climate is very humid, and it's difficult to wear such kind of thing. And the tools, so the tools were developed, salpan, how you are using going to use these things, and railway tracking tools. Look at the condition of hand. I think uh, important to work in this area. And then the new tools were developed for the railway track maintenance. And the student always were encouraged to work with grassroots innovation with Anil Gupta in IIM Ahmedabad, who was working in grassroots innovation, and student worked with them to see that how we can take it forward. Um, Suresh will remember that the Philips competition, which had happened many years ago, and one of the student won the award where this butterfly with the syringe, which was connected, that you put the toy with the syringe, and then the injection can be executed, and the child would not realize and not cry because you can give butterfly afterwards. So such kind of, it had got the Philips award. In fact, the Suresh was anchoring that time this the whole thing, which was sponsored by Philips, and it was very good competition actually. So that way you will find that a lot of student work which are taking place and making some kind of meaning into traditional clothes, which were saris and other things, and how we're bringing and making it more contemporary. And Orissa is the place where we have to really look into such kind of work, that how we can bring some meaning which is happening or which may not be in contextual, but how we can redevelop the context and see that these viewers have a better livelihood. Design clinic, micro, small, and medium enterprises. I don't know how many students got benefited. 7 years from 2007 to till I was there. I think till 17 or so. We were working with a small scale industry. It was almost like a design moment where students got opportunity to go. Our graduates have worked with the industries to improvise, and this is one of the success story where this LED light, which was redesigned, the turnover used to be 2 crores. In 3 years' time, the turnover of this company, just because of the design, it has gone to 20 crores. So medical equipments, I'm just rushing now to show you that how small and medium enterprises things started happening. And incubator, again, incubator is important because entrepreneurship is connected with that. And NID had set up incubator to encourage students to become designerpreneur. And some of these examples which you can see, also like Odisha Design Council, which is there, should get is already in the summits which we are doing. Professor Ranjan, the great scholar, and I would say the person who's really brought in the design thinking to a very higher platform, did great work in the design research area. Intellectual property rights, whatever things are there, we must register it in classroom level, or whatever things, geographical indications for the crafts we should look into. But continuously we should protect our intellectual property and see that how student work and the craftspeople's things which are there, how we can really protect this. So future challenges in the design need to tackle education, sanitation, security, healthcare, empowering women and children, urban migration, and environment. Talks about sustainable development goals, which we talk, and see that education more and more, if they get into this area, better sustainable thinking will come. And with that, I end my presentation. Uh, there you go. Thank you very much. I don't know how to stop sharing my screen. Yeah. Thank you, Suresh.
Thank you, Pradyumna. That was quite the journey from craft to industry to award winning prizes to India to Ghana to back to India. You took us on a worldwide journey of design through your eyes and through the eyes of institutions like NID. Before we go any further, I just want to mention that I use a Jawaja bag. It's here in front of me. It's lasted
Wonderful.
about 10 years now and it ages really well.
Mhm.
The only objection I have, and I've complained, sorry about that. The only objection I have to Jumna, and I've complained about this too many times, is that we need NID design stores all over the country. It's very hard to buy these products because they're great products, but you have to go to the Ahmedabad, to NID campus, to the beautiful design store and buy it from there.
Is it not there in Fab India? I am told that it is there in Fab India.
All variants are not there at all times. Tab
Okay.
India stocks, I guess, what sells the most, they stock that.
Mhm.
But I think a branded design store, which the proceeds of which directly go to craftspeople, is
Mhm.
an opportunity for a design entrepreneur to set up perhaps a national chain of stores, which is founded on the basis of perhaps direct to artisan, like how Amul works, I guess, maximize profits for
Absolutely.
artisans
Absolutely.
themselves.
Mhm.
I want to ask you a couple of questions about your presentation. There is a movement by companies, say like IKEA or luxury brands like Louis Vuitton, Hermes, to use craft skills and craftspeople as production bases. Say the design is done by Hermes or design is done by IKEA in a Sweden or a Denmark or India, and they use craftspeople as production bases. Do you think this is a healthy or an unhealthy development?
I have a different viewpoint on especially IKEA because IKEA had come to NID also once, and I would like to bring this in perspective because it's something we need to really understand. IKEA works in thousands and hundreds of thousands pieces. So if any craftsperson who is making something for their livelihood, they come to them and they say that okay, you stop other things, you make this particular thing and make 50,000 or 100,000 and all. So the person leave behind their activities and start working in thousands and thousands. IKEA's rejection rate is also very high, and you get trapped into that because you have left behind everything what you were doing, and you are totally connected with that with a very small margin actually. So your creativity is gone. You are just churning out product, product, and product. When they come, they came in a very interesting problem that they want to have a common facility center where the woman who are making the what you call floor small piece of carpet or something, and they say that the quality is not coming out good in the house, and we want to set up a improvised loom. If an ID can develop an improvised loom, so then all women can come and work there and make more such kind of small rugs. And Suresh, we refused. We said we will not do that project. And I distinctly remember this particular thing. And we, our reason was that it was disturbing the ecosystem in the village,
Mhm.
because this woman was looking after her children, was helping the husband in his the agriculture activities, and remaining 20% time she was extra time she was making rugs at the home based loom. Now, if you take that woman out from that home environment and put it in common facility center, you are disturbing the ecosystem
Yeah.
what she is connected with. And I think those are the deeper understanding and knowledge when we are working with the crafts people. Because when you talk about Louis Vuitton or hundreds and thousands of things, maybe you create a new breed of entrepreneur rather than tempering the existing crafts people, and see that if suppose a new group of people start a business for making baskets, or they are not from coming from the crafts background, but maybe children who don't want to do it and set up the separate unit, and then it is a different story. But stopping something what they are doing traditionally and asking them to do something, we should be very sensitive to ecosystem and not temper them. That is what my take is on
My second question to you, Pradyumna, is that words like sustainability have very deep, profound philosophical meanings,
it.
but they can also be used as marketing taglines. This is sustainable or that is sustainable. I know there is an app, Paytm, which we all use, and their slogan is proudly handmade in India. I'm not certain how you can handmake a mobile app. So, my question to you is how should designers understand this complex word called sustainability? What's a framework that young designers can use?
No, actually, you see that's why I'm saying that the systems thinking become very, very important. That we are in a complex world, and complex world environment requires the solution which is dealing that complexities. And always that the wicked problem which we talk about, that you're trying to solve a problem and you creating 100 other problems. I think in systems thinking you have to minimize the wicked problem, in my view. If you are saying that the plastic is a bad material, we have to also find out what is what if plastic is banned, what is the alternate material.
Yeah.
And if you really find out the complete ecosystem that the plastic, there is a activism and there is a rationalism. So rational thinking and the hard thing that okay, bad plastic is bad and just ban it. I think we need to go much deeper into the whole systems way, and then address the issue, and that will be more system oriented rather than just choosing it as a market gimmick on that. I don't know
Well,
whether it is making sense in this
it
particular
is.
case.
It is. Systems thinking is the way to tackle wicked problems and problems because merely banning plastic or saying jute is better or paper is better may not be true in all circumstances.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In some circumstances, plastic may actually be the better material to use than some other material.
It is, in fact, honestly, if you see, it is not the problem with the plastic, it is the problem with the behavior of the people who are excessively misusing the plastic.
Pradyumna, you've spent a lifetime in academia and education. And we'd like to know your thoughts on if you were to start a design school from scratch today, complete clean slate, you were tasked with writing an Eames report kind of report, and a brand new design school for a brand new India. What would be some of the founding principles that you would use to set up a new design school?
Yeah. Interesting question, actually, how much I would be able to address. But I see that design has really, meaning NID was one particular model that time, and it was very relevant, learning by doing and learning from the field. And still it is relevant, but it is not the only direction of design education. Now, there are lots of things have come because of the challenges which are coming. Design research. Now, design research, something where we need to go into fundamentals of the things which requires not necessarily hands-on, minds-on kind of thing, more of a vocational kind of thing which we practiced at NID, more in a systems thinking level. So I would say that the new design institution should be, one is that NID model which we are having, Another one is totally getting into social sciences and more on a science, technology, humanities coming together and finding it out the way forward and investigating into the future. And the another direction I see that high end technology, Internet of Things, big data, rapid prototyping, all these things which I mentioned in the opening remark is that how they can become enabler for the sustainable development, how they can become enabler for the better education, better healthcare, and those areas, how designers can find out meaning of those technology to use it in context. So I think new design school will have lots of such bifurcations which will
Mm.
not either this or that, because designers are a lot of time arguing that publishing paper versus working hands-on type of work. The publishing paper is also important. The hands-on, minds-on work is also very important, and technology, management, social science, the collaboration, co-creation is also important. So the new design schools, I think there should be many streams of design schools which should come up for focusing on different zoners.
Right. That's an excellent answer and a very comprehensive answer. And coming from somebody who's an expert in the subject and has spent a lifetime actually in academia. A little piece of trivia, Pradyumna and I are the same batch. He joined the same year as a teacher in
Absolutely.
IT. And I joined as a student in the year 1989. So we are, in that sense, we are both
Batchmates.
batchmates. The only difference is he's retained all his hair and I've lost all my hair since then. Other than that, I look like his teacher now, whereas I'm the one who learned much of what I know about design from Pradyumna. So, Pradyumna, thank you for all those years of teaching as well. I'm sure I'm not the only one. There are generations of students who have learned under your guidance. Thank you for that, and thank you for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Suresh, for giving me opportunity. And in fact, I really remembered the old days of that Phillips Award. If
Yeah,
you remember, I don't know, you could remember because you're doing so many programs. So whether you remember it or not,
I
that
do. I do. I remember it clearly. So when
yeah.
I started working in the media on a personal note, one
Mhm.
of my personal ambitions was to get as much design coverage in the media as I could manage. Since I had some influence in business media, I tried to get as many design shows as we could convince because media tends to overlook design quite a bit. So it was my job my responsibility as the media person, the designer in media, to bring as much design into mainstream media as I could.
So thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Suresh,
Thank
and
you, Pradyumna.
thank you
Our
very
next session begins in about 8 minutes from now.
thank
That's
you,
at 3 p.m. India time, and we'll see you there. Bye.
thank you. Bye bye.